know, I don't take my advice. I just play one on TV.
I'm right. I'm not. I say that all the time. My favorite lines.
Anyway, we are live. Hello there, people.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, let's see. Hi, 61. Hi, Liz Tops. Hi, Ann Rose. Hi, Margot. Deb Vancouver Din. Janae Ann. Oh, I'm in top chat. Let's see. Jen Grill. Oh, two Scooter. I can't chat because I am painting. Oh, you're hard at work painting? Okay. Hi, Barb Olson. I don't know how many of you watched with us today. You watched the Letecia Stauch thing. A lot of you did. We're going to be live tomorrow with it. My only concern is that once I turn it on in the morning, I don't know what he has with his webinar that you've got to keep logging in again. So I have to go to the doctor, but I think I'll be... When does anybody remember when they came back from lunch today? Hi, Shirley. What time did they come back from lunch? Was it 1 something our time?
It was 1:30 their time.
So 1:30.
3:30. It was 3:30 here.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to have Jimmy put that on, but I'm gonna show him how to do it because I'm gonna keep it live, but then he probably have to log in this second time like I had to do. I don't know why. It should just stay on the stupid WebEx. I'm logged in there and then it just doesn't play unless I rejoin again. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out tomorrow. Who knows? But we are going to be live tomorrow. So with the trial, and we'll be live every day of the trial. So hopefully you guys watch it with us. Now today it was emotional prosecution because they played that video where Gannon was concerned about his burns, and in that video she sounds, very nice, like she's worried about something. It doesn't sound like a raging lunatic, and that's why, it's like a planned recording to back something up. But maybe that's why he ran away, or maybe that's why he was upset, or whatever it was. And she was just trying to say, we have to sell something. She doesn't say we have to sell his Switch or his whatever he has, gaming system or whatever it is. She says we'll sell the sofa so they don't throw us out of the house. So she's big. She's going to sell the sofa, not make him sell something. And I'm sure we're going to hear about it from the other witnesses exactly what that she said happened, because as far as I know, they don't have a burn on the rug. So I don't know why she's always talking about this candle and this burn, but he did get burned from something because he's saying it. So I don't know where that all happened. Anyway, the defense was absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen an opening like it, where the guy, I guess he's been bombarded with, why would he represent such a evil woman, So then he's like, oh yeah, she's been tried in the court of public opinion, and you know what, it's a lost cause. And then he starts to walk out of the courtroom, and I'm like, what the hell? He goes, that's it, it's a lost cause. He walks all the way down the aisle, turns to then he comes back around and says, I can't leave her. It was just crazy. It was she's the devil, she's this, she's that. Well, you know what she is? She's insane. Okay, but how is she insane if she knew how to summon the media for an interview, which she did with that news station, and then she got Hartley, her daughter, on, and she was leading Hartley. She was saying that the police were not treating her and not respecting her civil rights when she was having interviews. She knew to wash her car. She knew to rent a car. She knew to do the whole switcheroo at the airport where she rented the car and left her other car there. She knew to arrange to pick up Gannon's body wherever she had first left it and then transfer it to Florida. Why did she do all that? If she was insane, why is she covering her tracks like that? It doesn't make any sense. Why'd she tell Hartley to bring up all the cleaners? Why'd she wash her sneakers? None of it makes sense. So yeah, she's not insane, and that's just a stupid what? Stupid way to go. That she's insane. So we'll see. Tomorrow will be the first witness, and they'll probably start with the officers where she filed that missing person or runaway, you know, for Gannon when he went to these friends' houses that he never really went to. And we'll see how that goes. Lori Vallow had the first day of jury selection, and that went for, let me see how, I don't know how far they got in that. Let's see how far they got. They have an update on that. I know I have one here. Yeah, even Letecia, they finalized the jury selection today, so yeah. It was just day one with them, and the judge has agreed to move the trial to Boise and Ada County. So we'll see what happens there, but they're just on jury selection. And let's see what we have. There's an infant that was found dead in a gas station bathroom. This is the, like, well, the other infant was alive that was just recently found, but this was, where was this? In, store worker is traumatized. I guess finding the baby in the bathroom. Let's see, where is this found? It's Iowa? Not sure. Let's see. In Houston, is it? Yeah. Baby girl found dead in bathroom of Southwest Houston gas station. So, a baby girl was found dead inside a gas station restroom. Police say they are now looking for the woman who was seen going into and leaving it this past Saturday night. Houston Fire Department paramedics were called to a gas station located on South Post Oak Road at 4:25 a.m. after a customer reportedly found an infant in the bathroom. Preliminary investigation revealed that an unknown Hispanic woman went into the restroom and left about 15 minutes later. It wasn't until hours after that the customer found the baby. Surveillance video was obtained, and it shows a young woman driving up in a white sedan at about 10 p.m. She's seen going straight into the bathroom and then leaving 15 minutes later. The convenience store owner said the baby's body was located hours after, leaving the employees traumatized. Paramedics responded. They attempted to provide medical assistance and determined the baby had been dead for hours before being discovered. Investigators did not say how they believe the baby died or how old the baby was. The cause of death is pending verification by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences, and anyone with information is urged to call HPD Homicide Division 713-308-3600. Oh, it's crazy. And then we have Stephen Smith's body was exhumed. So they, let me get this over here. He did exhume his body. It has been exhumed, autopsied, and reinterred. A SLED security team accompanied the body to a location in Florida where the examination took place. Information on the new autopsy has not yet been released. Meanwhile, news of two possible persons of interest has come to light. Investigation into those leads are continuing. Stephen Smith's body, we know, was on that rural road where they said it was a homicide, and then they said it was a hit and run, and then it's back to a homicide. And so it has, his body was exhumed, autopsied, and reinterred. So should be results coming forward soon. And with the opening statements, they just went over everything that we have read with Gannon's trial there, with the Letecia trial. They showed that video that was recorded by Letecia on January 26, 2020, and that was a day before Gannon was reported missing. Gannon says he's worried about his burns, while Letecia admonishes him about a mess inside their rental home. A day later, Gannon was gone. Letecia told investigators numerous stories, including that he was abducted by a man named Aguardo, and that she was raped by Aguardo and then raped by another man. Both stories were untrue. Months later, a crew worker in Pace, Florida found a suitcase underneath a bridge in Pensacola. Gannon was discovered in that suitcase, and remember that Letecia and her daughter drove to South Carolina, and they drove through Florida, and they rented a room in Pensacola. So yeah, everything is pointing to that. And the other thing that the defense said, oh, she was a very she was so abused, it almost sounds like a Casey Anthony kind of thing. You know, she was abused by her mother. Her mother, you know, had boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend, and they abused Letecia starting at the age of 6 or 7, and she had to sleep out in the car not to be abused by these guys that were beating her mother and then beating her, and then it moved from physical abuse to emotional and then sexual abuse, and she just had this horrible, horrible life, and all of that is what they're doing. And then now, you know, she became insane, and that's what she did. And he shows a picture of Gannon and Letecia, like, you know, like a picture is everything. And oh, look at this loving picture the day before. You know, you could see that this is somebody that was really. So what, she became insane in one day? Yeah, she just snapped. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so that's where they're going with it. The defense's opening was really crazy, and I mean, we can watch that part again if you want, but let's take a look at anything else here before we do anything like that. But it's, yeah, it was crazy. So that little boy that was found in the alligator's mouth, the father of that little boy stabbed his mother 100 times after his own birthday party, and they have the affidavit that's been released on that. And court records indicate that they had a birthday party at the victim St. Petersburg apartment. And after that, the defendant had been living with her for a few weeks. After the guests left the party at 5:15, Mosley reportedly was inside the apartment alone with both victims, and then he left the apartment a little over 3 hours later, went to his mother's house in St. Petersburg, and he had severe lacerations on his hands and arms, and he checked himself into St. Anthony's Hospital. Court records indicated that his injuries were consistent with injuries caused by slippage during a knife attack. Inside the apartment, police found a bloody cleaning bottle under a bed. They found fingerprints on the bottle that were later matched to the defendant. An arrest affidavit. Hold on, let me put this other image up here so we know what we're talking about. An arrest affidavit says that police also found blood on the sidewalk outside, blood leading up to Passion's car, and a very violent crime scene. Police found Passion deceased in the apartment, but little Jalen was not there. When Mosley refused to speak with investigators, officers were searching Lake Missouri in St. Petersburg on Friday, and they observed an alligator with an apparent object in his mouth. Police shot the alligator. It let go of the object, which turned out to be the toddler. And they said they were able to retrieve Taylin's body intact. The lake is 6 miles from the apartment complex where the baby's mother was killed. Mosley has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and he was booked into the Pinellas County Jail on Friday without bond. And the police chief said he hopes that the recovery of Taylin's body will help his family heal. We didn't want to find him this way, but at least we can bring some closure to that family now. Anyone with information should call the St. Petersburg Police at 727-893-7780. Very sad. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we did that one. We did all that, so did most of that.
Carolyn,
Yes.
I've got a question about Stephen Smith. Evidently, Alec and one of his brothers showed up at the crime scene accident when Stephen Smith got killed out there on the road.
Right, Randy, wasn't it Randy?
Yeah, Randy, I couldn't think of his name. But I just
Right.
wondered how and why they were out there in the middle of the night at a crime scene. What business did they have being out there at his crime scene?
Yeah, I mean,
That is so weird. And the mother of Stephen Smith said, and Randy said, well, I'll take your case.
right, yeah, and then he said no, right? Or something. After that, yeah.
Something weird like that. And she said, well, what case would that have even been? Because it was...
Right. But weren't they like ambulance chasers? Like they, because they were personal injury attorneys. Didn't they go around to a lot of the accident victims around South Carolina? Remember, like, those other people, because that's what they did. And they said, we can get you some money for that accident. So I'm thinking, they were kind of ambulance chasers too, but there might be something more there with Stephen Smith too. But I think that they did do that ambulance chasing.
Well, I was just shocked when I heard that. I didn't know that they were out there at his accident until today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. But I just want to see if I can play that part of the ouch. Let me see if everybody saw where's my live? I don't know. Is this it? Yeah. No, that's for tomorrow. Here it is. Did everybody here see the opening statements today where the defense attorney walked away in the chat? Did you all see that?
No, I kind of drifted off during parts of that.
You
fell
didn't see
asleep.
You missed both. Do you want me to play just the opening statements for you now?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay. All right, let me get just the opening statements that we just watched.
He's boring. Fair warning.
They're crazy. The defense is like really crazy.
I waited all day for those opening statements, and then I fell asleep for them.
Oh boy.
Good thing you're not on the jury then.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's why I couldn't be on a jury. I'd be asleep.
I know. So
I'm
now,
like a baby. I need an afternoon nap.
if I play these, you're going to have to watch it in YouTube because you're not going to hear it in Zoom. Remember?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because the sound's gonna come through YouTube.
Well, I've got you playing on my iPad too. That's on YouTube.
Okay, so I just want to make
So
sure you can
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
mute.
All right, yeah, mute here and then listen to it on YouTube. Let me see right over there. All right, that's right. Let's go. Should be here.
You want to now? Go ahead. Okay.
And if you want to dim the lights, I'm fine.
I can't, actually, I thought this was for perimeter lights like it is in my courtroom, but it's not. Their panel is up there. If you want to dim the perimeter lights, it's up to you. Okay, all right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Paramount question you will have to answer as jurors in this case has to do with sanity, specifically the defendant's sanity. At the conclusion of the evidence, the court will give you jury instructions. One specific jury instruction will talk specifically about insanity. It will read that as to the question of sanity, the defendant was insane at the time of the commission of the acts if she was so diseased or defective in mind at the time of the commission of the acts as to be incapable of distinguishing right from wrong with respect to that act, or she suffered from a condition of mind caused by a mental disease or defect that prevented her from forming a culpable mental state. That is an essential element of a crime charge. A culpable mental state is like an intentionally or knowingly. Evidence in this case will show that she could distinguish between right and wrong, and that she was absolutely capable of forming the specific intent required for these charges. Those instructions will go on to give specific guidance on what qualifies as a mental disease or defect. It says care should not be taken to confuse mental disease or defect with moral obliquity, mental depravity, passion growing out of anger, revenge, or hatred, or other motives and kindred evil conditions. Because when an act is induced by any of these causes, the ones that I just listed, the person is accountable to the law, meaning that person can be found guilty for committing crimes charged. You should consider the evidence you will hear in this case in context with that instruction. This case is about two people. First is Gannon Jacob Stauch, an 11-year-old little boy, came into this world premature, weighing just 1 pound 6 ounces. He proved to be a fighter, overcame the difficulties associated with being born so small. He's survived by his mother, Landon Hyatt, his father, Al Stauch, and his precocious little sister, Lena. On January 26, 2020, something bad happened inside the Stauch family home. Gannon suffered some burns. You'll learn this from a video recording this defendant made that night, January 26th. You'll hear her as she manipulated Gannon, putting guilt on him for some mistake that a child made. And in that recording, you'll hear Gannon say in his own words, "I'm just worried about my burns."
Two, I just don't know what to do.
Well, devastating. Initially, Scott, I can't lie, when the TMZ information.
Gannon, I promise it's the last time I'm gonna ask you. I'm just freaked out, okay? Are you sure you didn't do it on purpose? Okay, you promise. You promise. Pinky promise. Okay, all right, so listen. We're, all right, we're gonna have to sell stuff to fix it, okay? So we figure out what we gotta sell. We can sell the sofa. We can sell whatever, because we gotta get it fixed. So lady, don't be mad at us and kick us out of the house. Okay? You got it? You got it?
I'm just worried about my
Okay, shh, listen. So tomorrow,
person in this case is that last voice you just heard, who said so tomorrow. This lady sitting right here, the defendant. January 26, 2020, and into January 27, 2020, she was the sole provider for Gannon. Her husband, Al Stauch, Gannon's father, serves in the National Guard. He was in Oklahoma for National Guard training, left that Saturday night, the 25th. Everything that happened to Gannon from that point forward was her decision. She carried out actions to kill Gannon, to put his body in a suitcase and hide it, to hide evidence of what she did to Gannon. Told numerous stories to investigators to manipulate the course of the investigation. And finally, to discard Gannon inside that suitcase off of a Florida bridge like garbage. January 27, 2020, Gannon's home, located at 6627 Mandan Drive, here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, turned into the stuff of nightmares. In fact, the one place a little boy like Gannon should have felt the safest, his bedroom, turned into, like I said, the stuff of nightmares. That bedroom is in fact where he was brutally murdered. The defendant attacked him viciously, mercilessly, deliberately, and intentionally. These are exhibits that you'll see from the doctor down in Florida, Dr. Ignacio, when she performed the autopsy. He'll tell you that Gannon suffered 18 stab wounds to his body, his chest, his back, his head, and most importantly, his arms and his hands. Why is that important? Gannon was fighting for his life, and those were defensive wounds. Next came a crushing blow to his head that was so strong, it fractured his skull like an eggshell. That wasn't enough for this defendant. He retrieved a 9mm handgun, fired it at Gannon 3 times. 2 bullets struck the pillow near him and were caught in the fibers of that pillow. That 3rd bullet entered his jaw, traveled through his head, fracturing his mandible, his vertebrae, hitting his spinal cord, and lodged in the back of his head and was recovered at autopsy. Gannon's life drained from his body, drop by drop. The photo that's on the screen right now is a picture of his bedroom. Same corner where he was in that picture, or where you'll see him in the picture in the bed. Each one of those markers signifies a small blood drop that splattered across his wall.
You're just a baby.
It ran down the corner of his mattress,
I know it's hot.
soaked through the carpet padding, and puddled on the concrete foundation below that carpet. The defendant then took very deliberate action. She decided to hide her crimes from the world. And she took action to hide those crimes from the world. She collected Gannon's bloody and broken body and the blankets and pillow that were near him and shoved them into a suitcase and hid them in the storage unit in that basement. That basement storage unit is right around the corner from Gannon's bedroom. What she didn't know is that she was leaving clues behind in that storage room. That plastic tub that you see in the bottom left portion of that picture has Gannon's blood on it. There was an Amazon box in that storage room that has Gannon's blood on it. The concrete floor in that storage room.
Sharon, we can
Gannon's
hear
blood
you
on
on
the
YouTube.
suitcase. Defendant next decided to clean Gannon's room. Deliberately, intentionally, knowing what she was doing. She scrubbed the walls, cleaning them off. She scrubbed the carpet with scrub brushes that were later found in the dishwasher. Those scrub brushes have carpet fibers in them. They have blood on them. They have Gannon's DNA on them. This is Gannon's bedroom when members of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office first came to the house on January 27th in the evening hours. This is what it looked like. No obvious signs of a struggle. No obvious signs of blood as they walked through the house and through Gannon's bedroom. There were no obvious signs of a struggle or a murder because the defendant had cleaned them up. And also realized she had Gannon's blood on her person. Clothes that she was wearing, likely containing Gannon's blood, based off of how much blood had hit the walls, were never found. Her clothing was never found. These shoes, the defendant's shoes, were found on the washing machine, drying. That reddish rust color that you can see on the soles, Gannon's blood and DNA were found on those shoes. You can see just how much blood she was walking through as she was cleaning up that mess. Took more deliberate action. She collected and discarded other important clues. I mentioned she stabbed Gannon 18 times. The instrument